Sri Gurubhyo Namaga children, you are welcome for online class. Class 12th, this is a poem for you 5th unit and we saw already 2 parts we are completed and this is 3rd part of the poem, a father to his son. Okay children, we saw in this 2 part, in the previous part, in the 2nd part, we saw that the poet is giving an advice to his son that he must not be wasting his time, in leisure time he must make use of it, and he says that if he done any mistake he must not do again. So these 2 advices he gives and he stops that. Okay, we will see in this thing what he is telling, what he is suggesting or what is the advice for his son. Okay, see, solitude helps to be creative and final decisions are taken in silent rooms. Instead of being one among many, be different. If that is your nature, the son may need lazy days to find his inherent abilities to seek what he is born for. So he says that you be different, not like others, you will be silent, be a silent observer and you just be alone, be in aloof, don't mingle with everybody all the time. Often you be alone and so that the creativity will be more and you will be knowing more in plus and minus of you and you can rectify all the minuses of you and you can be well strong in your positives too. So this was a suggestion given by the father. He will then know how free imaginations bring changes to the world which results change. So here he is talking about the revival here. He will then know how free imagination bring changes to the world which results change. During such resentment, let him know that it is the time for him to be on his own and work to achieve, like Shakespeare, the Wright brothers, Pasteur, Pavlov and Michael Faraday. So he gives some sort of people and he is telling his son to read those books and so that at right time he will be having a creative mind to decide. During such recent, let him know that it is a time for him to be on his own and work to achieve, like Shakespeare, the Wright brothers, Pasteur, Pavlov and Michael Faraday. So here he gives this suggestion in this, let us see. He may use against other people. So this stanza tells, he may use against other people. Tell him solitude is creative if he is strong. And the final decisions are made in silent rooms. Tell him to be different from other people. If it comes natural and easy, being different. So here he tells that he may use against other people. He may use against other people's, but tell him solitude. Solitude here means he must be solitude here means alone. Father advised him to be alone. Is creative if he is strong. So if he is strong and alone, he will be thinking. So his mind will be giving some innovations, creativeness, and that will help him. And the final decisions, so whatever the final decisions are made in silent rooms. So final decisions are made in silent rooms. Tell him to be different from other people. So he must not be, because other people all there. So the whole world will be lying. So it is not that he also must lie. So here he tells that, tell him to be different. So he must be different in all the attitudes and behavior and other things. So different from other people. And if it comes natural and easy, being different. So if it comes natural, it is so easy that you must not practice it. Suppose if it is not coming also, you must practice. So he says that in natural, if you are a person of being alone, it is very, very good that you be alone. It is coming natural. So if you, it is lot of things is there. If you are being natural and you have to be practiced. Naturally if you have that quality, it is very easy for you to practice, and if you have to practice that you have been a person of always being with friends and with a group of people, then if you want to be alone, that must be practiced. It is little tough. So he says that it is natural for him and as easy being different. So he says that it is easy being different, so you be different, not be like others. So the father gives very good advice to him to be solitude helps him to be creative, and final decision are taken in a silent room, and he says that it is better to be alone. Okay children, we will see the next stanza. Okay, let him have lazy days. What is lazy days? Let him have a lazy days. Seeking his deeper motives. Let him seek for where he is born natural, then he may understand Shakespeare and the Wright brothers, Pasteur, Pavlov, Michael Faraday and free imagination. So he says that these people are all been alone. You know, if you have taken any great people, there will be sometimes when you are taking final decision, they will be all alone and they will be taking. So he says very clearly, then he may understand Shakespeare and the Wright brother, Pasteur, Pavlov, Michael Faraday and free imaginations. So he says that if he is alone, he will be getting free imaginations like those great people, and he also will be a great person because he is also alone like them. So he will be getting the innovations and creativeness, and it will be helpful to him. Okay. So during such resentment, let him know that it is a time for him to be on his own and work to achieve like Shakespeare, the Wright brother, Pasteur, Pavlov and Michael Faraday. So that was the suggestion given by them. So at last he gives all his advice to his son, bringing changes into the world, resenting change. He will be lonely enough to have time for the work he knows as his own. So here if a person who is alone and he is not asking the advice and suggestion of others and being in a silent and with his creativity or of his thought or of his own thing, he will be taking a right decision, and that right decision will help him. Sometimes if you group decision, sometimes it will go wrong, and sometimes he is alone and he will be thinking which is right and which is good and which is bad, and he will be analyzing himself. So that will help him. So here during such resentment, let him know that it is a time for him to be alone and take a right decision. So here there will be a change, and then change will be for the nation, for the world and for everything, and that change will be a great one. So it will be a revival. So that only he is saying. Bringing changes into the world, resenting change. So changes must be there in the world. So he must change himself alone and take a good decision, and that changes into the world, resenting changes. There may be a change in his life, maybe a revival taking place or a renaissance taking place. So that only he is saying. He will be lonely enough to have time for the work he knows as his own. Okay, glossary. Resenting means dislikes. Sometimes you may have dislike, and he says that you must dislike that. That changes will bring a change in the world, he is saying. A piece of worldly wisdom given by a father to a son. Father wishes his son to be energy and stamina to face hurdles in life, and he gives lot of suggestion in this. In the first stanza he tells them to be a rock like a, strong like a rock, and in the second stanza he says that be a gentle person, because life is gentle, you also go gentle. And third he says that you don't want of money, don't think of more money. And then he tells the son to be a person who is just having leisure time, and you must not waste your leisure time, make use of the leisure time. And when you seek knowledge, never feel that somebody calling you as a fool. You don't feel ashamed to be a fool. So same time learn from your mistake and never repeat. If you learn from your mistake, at the same time don't repeat the mistake. And don't introspect often, and do not hesitate to accept your shortcomings. Avoid white lies to protect self against other people. Solitude helps you to take a right decision and make it. And final decisions are taken in the silent room. And different it is your nature, the son, they need lazy days to find his inherent ability to seek what he is born for. So that leisure time will help you what for you are born. You can know your call in this world, and you can change the old world by changing your mindset. He will then know how free imagination brings changes to the world, which reason change. During such resentment, let him know that it is a time for him to be on his own and work to achieve like other great personalities in the world, so that it will be helpful to him. So these were the things, the whole poem, in each and every stanza it is telling children. We will be seeing the figure of speech and we will end the thing. Okay, you have Marjorie's. Tell him solitude is creative if he is strong and the final decisions are made in silent rooms. He will be lonely enough to have time for the work he knows as his own. These lines are imageries. Okay children, we come to the end. You understood this poem and you learnt. I believe that the poet gave as a father so many advices to you, and I feel that and I hope that you will be following this, and the moral which you learnt, it will be useful for your life and in a future coming. You also in the manlyhood children, as you wear boyhood to the manlyhood, you will be going to the college, and this poem will be helping you a lot, and you learn from this poem and utilize in your life, so that you will be a great person like Shakespeare, Pablo, like that, even like Sandberg. You will be a great personality in this world. Thank you children.